Have you ever wondered what truly lies behind the wisdom of great spiritual masters? Behind serene words, compassionate gestures, and an aura of peace, there lies a deeper truth, a truth that is rarely spoken. In this video, we're going to dive into revelations you won't find in popular books or scripted talks. We'll explore the behind-the-scenes of spiritual awakening, where masters face invisible battles, human dilemmas, and an inner journey that goes far beyond what is usually taught to the public. The truth may surprise you, and perhaps even unsettle you, but it is precisely that discomfort that opens the door to real expansion of consciousness. Get ready to leave the surface and dive into the invisible. For centuries, the image of the spiritual master has been idealized, as if they were perfect beings, immune to human flaws. But what happens when we discover that even the most enlightened face doubts, shadows, and moments of deep solitude? Authentic spirituality is not about perfection. It's about truth. And truth is often unsettling, raw, and powerful. In this video, we will dismantle myths, break illusions, and show that true masters are not unreachable. They are profoundly human. And it is precisely in that humanity where their transformative power resides. Are you ready to see with new eyes? By the end of this video, you won't just see spiritual masters differently. You'll see yourself differently, because understanding their journey is to mirror your own. The call to awakening doesn't come through ready-made formulas or pretty inspirational quotes. It comes through courage, surrender, and a dive into the unknown. If you feel there's something beyond what you've been told, you're right. And today we're going to reveal that hidden layer of spiritual wisdom that could change everything. Stay until the end. The truth that will be revealed might be exactly what your soul has been waiting to hear. 1. What are spiritual masters? When we speak of spiritual masters, many images may come to mind. Silent monks, charismatic gurus, wise elders with eyes that seem to see beyond time, but beyond any appearance or culture. A spiritual master is someone who has awakened to higher realities of existence. These are beings who have transcended ego identification and now live from a place of expanded consciousness, compassion, and unity with the whole. They may be known as avatars, enlightened sages, spiritual guides, embodied or not. Some are historical figures. Others are anonymous and silent. What unites them is not a title, but the vibration they carry. They don't just teach through words, they teach through presence. And often, the greatest lesson lies in the silence between one sentence and the next. But it's important to clarify something from the outset. This video is not about idolatry. We're not here to place masters on unreachable pedestals or to perpetuate ideas of spiritual superiority. On the contrary, this is an invitation to conscious learning, where you observe the path of those who walked before you, but continue walking with your own feet. A true master's wisdom doesn't seek blind followers. It seeks to awaken masters within others. Instead of veneration, what we propose is inspiration. Because idolizing imprisons, but understanding liberates. And when we truly understand what lies behind a master, we stop seeing just the figure and begin to recognize the reflection of our own essence. A true master doesn't want to be worshipped. They want to be understood. Many of these masters, Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, Ramana Maharshi, among others, came in different eras with different languages, yet carried a common core teaching, the awakening of the self. Some are mystics, others silent revolutionaries. Some shared teachings through books, others through subtle actions that only those with eyes to see could perceive. There are also masters who never reveal themselves to the public, but work silently, assisting human beings at crucial moments of their journey. And there are non-physical spiritual masters, guides operating in subtle realms, connecting through intuition, dreams, and signs. Every encounter with a true master is a portal, a reminder that there is something more. The problem arises when the image of the master is used as a shield, an escape, or a substitute for our personal responsibility. Spirituality becomes performance, and the master becomes an idol. And that's when we lose the essence. A master can point the way, but they can't walk it for you. If you merely repeat what they say without living it, you're worshiping the wrapping and ignoring the content. That's why in this video, we want to both demystify and deepen the understanding of these beings. We'll reveal the human side, the hidden side, and even the challenges they've faced. Because it's only when we see the Master as a mirror that we can truly look at ourselves with honesty. In the end, the most powerful question you can ask is not who are the spiritual masters, but rather, what can I learn from them to become the master of my own life? That is the turning point. The purpose of this video is to create space for this inner awakening, not to follow someone else, but to reconnect with what you already are in essence. Let's break down the myths together, step out of spiritual automatism, and dive into a deeper understanding. Because true consciousness expansion begins when we stop looking outward for a savior and start looking inward, recognizing a spark of the divine. And perhaps by the end of this journey, you'll discover that the master you were always looking for was closer than you ever imagined. 2. The secret truths. When we think of spiritual masters, it's common to imagine untouchable beings surrounded by light, with all the answers at their fingertips. But one of the most secret and most powerful truths is that they never wanted to be worshipped. On the contrary, they always wished to be mirrors. Jesus said, "You are gods." Buddha spoke of the middle way as something to be discovered by each person. Ramana Maharshi remained silent before questions, so the disciple could hear their own soul. These masters pointed inward, not to themselves. Their purpose was not to collect followers, but to awaken sleeping masters. Yet many got lost idolizing their images, forgetting to apply their teachings. The true revelation is that they were not above us. They were simply more aware of what we can all become. Another truth often overlooked is that for these masters, silence was worth more than 1,000 words. In an age where everything must be explained, justified, and spoken, this might sound strange, but the greatest spiritual teachings aren't in what is said, but in what is felt. In silent satsangs, in the meditative presence of Master, or during deep channelings, it is in the emptiness that the Spirit speaks loudest. Buddha reached enlightenment in silence. Ramana Maharshi would go days without saying a word, yet his energy transformed lives. Silence is the language of the soul, and the ego doesn't know how to translate it. That's why many masters didn't explain, they transmitted, and whoever was ready would understand, even without grasping it rationally. Speaking of the inner journey, here's another hidden truth. Even masters walked difficult paths within themselves. Enlightenment didn't fall from the sky. It came through deep crises, intense doubts, and confrontations with their own shadow. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, facing temptation and solitude. Siddhartha Gautama sat beneath the fig tree, confronting visions and internal questioning until he became the Buddha. These painful moments were portals. They show that the spiritual path is not just made of light, but also of walking through one's own darkness with courage. If even the masters had to go deep within themselves, what makes us think we should avoid our own inner deserts? It's also time to respectfully and consciously break the illusion of spiritual perfection. Many believe that the masters were flawless beings, unshakable and always at peace. But that's a romanticized view. The truth is that many of them faced rejection, harsh criticism, and moments of doubt about their mission. Jesus wept. Buddha had to leave his family to seek the truth. Francis of Assisi was discredited by his own people. And this didn't weaken them, it strengthened them. A true master isn't one who never falls, but one who falls consciously and rises with even more love. This is the sacred humanity that few recognize, and that paradoxically makes them even more divine. These truths, though simple, are transformative because they remove us from the role of mere observers and place us at the center of the spiritual journey. When truly understood, the Master ceases to be a statue on an altar and becomes a living bridge to our inner world. He didn't come to be imitated, but to awaken something that already lives within each of us. In this video, by revealing these hidden layers, we want you to reflect, feel inspired, and above all, feel. Because what will be shared is not just to be understood, but absorbed. And maybe in the end, you'll realize that the greatest secret truth is that you never needed intermediaries to touch the divine that lives within you. Free. What can we apply today? Knowing the hidden truths of spiritual masters is impactful. But what's most transformative is learning how to live them today, in our own reality. Admiring their wisdom from a distance is not enough. We need to bring their teaching into daily life, into silent moments, into personal challenges. The masters always pointed inward, and now the invitation is clear. Become your own guide. This starts with stepping away from the endless outer search and turning toward inner listening. You don't need to go to the Himalayas or follow set formulas. The sacred can be lived right now, in this very moment, wherever you are. True spiritual practice doesn't require a setting. It requires presence. And it's this presence that transforms any place into a temple. One of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is spiritual authenticity. This means stopping the effort to appear spiritual and beginning to be truthful. It's easy to repeat beautiful phrases, wear white clothes, and memorize mystical jargon. What's hard is to look inward with honesty, face your own shadows, and keep walking. Authenticity is when you feel, live, and make mistakes with awareness. When you don't pretend to be enlightened, but honor your process. And this inspires much more than any illusion of perfection. The masters were not behavior models. They were models of inner truth. And the more truthful you are with yourself, the more aligned you are with that same frequency. Another powerful practice we can cultivate today is conscious silence. Not just the absence of noise, but silence that welcomes, listens, observes. In a world that constantly screams, those who learn to be silent begin to hear what truly matters. Just a few minutes of daily stillness can open inner portals that no book or course ever could. It is in that inner space that intuition speaks, the soul answers, and the ego softens. Great spiritual revelations do not happen in noise. They arise in the fertile emptiness of silence. Start small, sit, breathe, listen, and you'll realize that this small daily gesture might be the beginning of a great inner revolution. Beyond silence, there's one path that never fails: self-study. Not just reading sacred books or listening to masters, but studying yourself, as if investigating an entire universe. What patterns do you repeat? What emotions do you avoid feeling? Where does your deepest truth reside? Self-study is the path of the wise, because it demands courage, patience, and attention. It is what turns suffering into wisdom and mistakes into light. By observing yourself with love and without judgment, you'll begin to see that the answers you seek outside already exist within. And just like the masters once did, you'll start to recognize that the true temple is within your own being. Finally, if there's one thing you can apply today, right now, it's your commitment to awakening. Not tomorrow, not when everything is ready. It's here, in the middle of chaos, in the routine, in the highs and lows, that living spirituality happens. And it's here that you're called to practice what you've learned. Be truthful, cultivate silence. Investigate yourself with love. The spiritual masters left maps, but the journey is yours. And the more you align with your essence, the more the world transforms around you. The master you seek is not outside. He is waiting for you to remember who you are. And this video may just be the beginning of that remembrance. If these truths stirred something within you, don't keep them to yourself. Leave a comment below. Which of these revelations resonated most with your current moment? Your sharing might inspire other seekers on their path. And if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to watch our previous video, Law of Attraction versus Law of Vibration. What really works? It offers a deeper understanding of how we manifest reality we vibrate. The spiritual journey is not meant to be walked alone. It grows stronger when we walk it together, consciously, awakened, and in connection. So if this content helped you, share it with someone else who's also awakening. Sometimes a simple message can ignite a light in someone's life. And if you'd like to receive more content like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. We're here to grow together, soul to soul. The true master is not outside. He whispers within you in silence, waiting to be remembered. Carry this phrase with you. Keep it in your heart. It is a reminder that the divine already lives within you. Just be still, feel, and remember. See you in the next video.